Hey there, Loco sports fans. Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Loco Sports Lowdown. Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr with you to start things off, and we'll see who else matriculates here on Tuesday night in the Loco. A lot of high school basketball going on. We'll talk a little bit about the wrestling from the weekend and last night. Anything that actually, I don't think there was anything from last night. And then we'll talk a little bit about some football coach openings because there's a little movement happening over there, and we actually heard a couple of names for one of the jobs. So that'll be interesting. Also, USCB hoops. Another player of the week, Peach Bucket player of the week on the women's side this time. So a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. And Nate Livesey going to join us for a few minutes as well to talk about hoops. And you said that right before we went on air, we got a final from Ladies Island, 66-46 Bluffton over Beaufort. And Nate Livesey was at the game, so he's going to jump in and tell us more about that one. But how you doing, Wes?
I'm doing all right. We missed you on the show last night on our halftime spectacular.
Yeah, I may have fallen asleep on the couch for a little while.
But man, congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers on one of the best. I mean, it's record-wise, it's the best college football season of all time, right?
Yeah.
16, no one's ever done it before, but you definitely have to make an argument they're one of the best teams. So that was we definitely missed you on the show last night. Got to talk a lot of USCB hoops, some college basketball or high school basketball scores from Friday. We kind of went over those again, but looking forward to talking to the fresh Tuesday slate. And my gosh, this Bluffton team, I mean, they really showed a lot by taking down this Beaufort team that kind of shocked us a little bit by the way they played against May River. No shocky tonight. Bluffton just taking care of business, and I am quite impressed by how solid, how consistent that team has looked, and how Coach Gabriel has gotten the most out of a team that, of course, is playing without Carnell Warren and Aiden McCarthy, and yet they just continue to churn, pick up wins.
Yeah, another win. Definitely some. I don't think it was necessarily smooth tonight from the jump, but we'll find out more with our guests. Well, first of all, Marcus Walsh seems to be we got Mark in the dark in the car over there.
Yes.
He was calling the games, and Nate Livesey was at the games, and we're going to let him jump in with us as well as we're going along on the Tuesday night edition of the Loco Sports Lowdown. What's up, fellas? I know both of you were over in the nest at Beaufort High School. Nate, I was following your tweets, and it sounded like maybe not the most cohesive performance from Bluffton, but they were able to pull away in the second half and win by 20. So tell us, Marcus, first, you were on the call.
Yeah.
I assume the girls went to Beaufort pretty big.
It did. 76-51 for Beaufort. Huge win. We talked to Jania Hayward after the game and our post-game thoughts, and she was just absolutely phenomenal. I was really impressed with Zaria Coxum as well. She did a great job underneath the hoop, making some big plays. Bluffton gave it everything that they could, but it was just a special night for Beaufort for sure. Amira Brown was celebrated in scoring 1,000 points on the year, as she now has well over 1,000, heading towards 1,100. That was at halftime, so we had that filmed as well. That's correct.
That would have been something.
That would be
that's correct. My mistake there. So
that would have been
just outstanding stuff all the way around for the girls. Jania was just the straw that stirred the drink for sure, and great performance for her. 38 points for her. She was absolutely incredible. And then on the guys' side, we talked to Harry Skinner. He had 22. Senior leader, is able to literally do everything. And you guys are definitely correct. It was not the smoothest of games for Bluffton, but it's like I alluded to on Saturday after the May River Beaufort games on Saturday, as I was at Kirkland Court on Friday night. You know you're going to scrap. You know you're going to claw. You know you're going to fight when you play Beaufort, regardless of where it's taken place. 15-15 going into the series via Max Preps into tonight's game. 16-15, Bluffton with the lead. And before the game started, Beaufort actually had the lead by 1 point in the series history. So it's neck and neck. It reminds me. I mentioned this in the guys' game. It reminds me so much of the Bridge Bowl between Hilton Head and Bluffton. You know that you're in for a fight,
Right.
and give a lot of credit. I actually saw Jeremy Huff, the head coach of Buford, on the guys' side after the game, and I was talking to him. He said, our record is what it is, and it's not good, but this team scraps, this team fights, and I noticed that certainly in the May River game on Friday. This team is so much better than that record indicates, and it's because the players work hard. They scrap, they fight. These guys, especially in 6-4A, and we'll see more Skeeza matchups as we go to JP2 to see HHCA JP2 next week. We talk so much about wrestling this time of year too, and I know you guys talk about it a bunch. I'm seeing like a wrestler's mentality with these basketball teams, and it is so much fun to see because there's no quit. There's not one shred of giving up. And is it the prettiest thing of basketball? No. But I tell you what, it's really entertaining to see these kids get off the floor when they get knocked down, come back, make plays, and be the stars that they are on the floor. And they're just great people. I say it a lot, I know, but congratulations to Bluffton tonight on a tremendous achievement, getting that huge win in some of these guys, penultimate games against Buford, unless they were to meet in the playoffs somehow. Doubtful that'll happen.
That's not
But,
gonna happen.
Gordon is another one that really has shown brightly, and we've seen Bluffton twice in the last 8 days as we saw them against Hilton Head Prep as well. I'm just really impressed with what Bluffton has done. Certainly the Buford girls. I'm looking forward to Hilton Head Prep, or rather Hilton Head Christian Academy at JP2 next week. Loving this for sure. It's been awesome. Kev, you have anything to add?
38 points. Wow.
Yeah, Kevin
Yeah.
Libby driving. He's the
Libby.
Alfred
Yeah,
to my Batman in this case.
Mia's the real deal. Nate Livesey, a coach's perspective. Bluffton is, and this was going to be a talking point I was going to bring up tonight anyway, because the new polls came out, Coaches Association polls, and Bluffton's at number 4 in 4A with May River at number 7. I mean, I'm not convinced Bluffton is that good. Like borderline top 10 maybe, but 4? Are they that good?
I don't know. They're winning the games put in front of them.
Yeah.
And Harry Skinner's a really good player.
Yeah, that's true.
So the SCBCA polls are coaches polls.
Right.
And so that's a collaboration of guys who haven't seen
True.
anybody other than the people that
They've
are in
only
their
seen what's in
area.
their gym and what they scouted, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of you see somebody with a good record, you rank them higher maybe than they could be because you want somebody to do that for you when you have a good record. So
For sure.
it's there. I will just say this. I've seen a lot of games all over, and there is a big drop off from the top teams in every classification quickly.
Yeah.
I assume Gray and North Augusta are at the top of that poll, and those teams are well ahead of anyone else in 4A.
Yeah, Gray, North Augusta, and then it's Wilson, Bluffton, Darlington, Crestwood, May River, Brooklyn, Casey, Westside, Midland Valley.
Yeah, see, I've seen Gray, I've seen North Augusta, I've seen Wilson, and those teams are head and shoulders above everybody else in 4A.
Well, yeah, Wilson's still got all those guys from last year, right?
Yeah, and then some, because Wilson never plays with the same roster they had last year. So
yeah, no, they're a unit.
I completely agree.
We're losing.
We lost Marcus just as he was gonna say.
Yeah, but I think tonight's game, Buford was just outmanned. They play really hard. I've seen them a couple of times this year, and it's really it's a credit to them and credit to Coach Huff that they play so hard. Even though they're not getting the results they want for the most part. Keaton Lehman is the freshman guard.
Yeah, Keaton Lehman.
He's terrific. He's going to be a really good player. But they all play hard, and like there's a lot to be said for doing that. Like I said, when the results are not going the way you want, but Bluffton was only up 7 at halftime of that game, and was in control, but didn't pull away till late in the game.
But this might not have been their best performance, and yet they still win by 20. So that's always a good sign to see from your team. And they even if they're not hitting those threes, I mean they have shown that they're able to find ways to put points on the board just through that will and that grit out there. So I'm very excited for what I've seen from Bluffton. Now there's something to be said about can they carry it over towards some of those other regions once we get into February. Will they be battle tested enough to be able to? But right now, they definitely have been going above my expectations in terms of, especially their makeup now, what they are looking like now in terms of how they're playing. Very, very impressed by just how together they have looked as a team and the way they've been playing as a unit. Game in and game out, the consistency has been a big surprise and a good surprise for me. Coach Gabriel, I mean, maybe it's not too much of a surprise because he's been a great coach over the last couple of years. He's put Bluffton in contention in this region, and great for Bobcat tournament last year. I mean, they've been 2 years now. They've been a very consistent squad. And
he lets them play. He lets them play their game and kind of play loose and free and fun, and I think it suits them. We saw them run into a buzzsaw last year with Wilson, and if they go far enough in the playoffs this year, they'll run into one of those 3 buzzsaws that Coach Livesey mentioned. But here, let's peek in on Battery Creek because they got a good game going. Up 9, 4 minutes left.
Oh, that would be a huge win for Creek if they're able to beat that.
It would be tremendous.
Trying to get to 3-0 in the region.
What a start
JJ, can I interject something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt. The final score of the Bluffton-Buford guys game was not 66-46. It was 64-46. 18 points, not 20.
Okay. Thank you for the correction.
Gotcha.
You got it. I had the scoreboard right in my left eye. 64-46.
All right, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the thing that helps Bluffton is, high school basketball is a guards game, and their guards are better than everyone else's. With Harry and Ethan, those 2 guys are just a better backcourt than the guys they're playing against on a night in and night out basis.
I mean, Hillhead can kind of match it, or at least close to it, on their best night. Tajay and Ketis, although Ketis is definitely, he's a younger guy, but he's coming along. But Foster has elevated his game, and that has really made an impact. And Coach Gabriel talked about kind of challenging him to. We had him on the One Loco Hoops Happy Hour, and he talked about kind of challenging Ethan to use his bigger frame more. To he was not rebounding well, and he challenged him to be a better rebounder, which, as we all know, is one of those want to things. Right. You want to, you will. And and that's made Ethan a more effective player. He gets some cheap buckets off of it and makes the team better. So and then Malcolm Gordon is just, I mean, he's an animal. He's a physical specimen that just gets after it and plays a million miles an hour all the time, and there's no substitute for that in high school sports. Like, if you've got an athlete who goes hard, that's going to beat a lot of things most of the time. So, but yeah, it's just kind of stunning to me that they're up to number 4 now. It seemed like, they were kind of lurking under the radar for a while there. Nobody was talking about them. When Mayrick was off to the hot start, and Hilton Head, everybody's kind of high on them. But Bluffton is close to making it through the whole round robin the first time undefeated in a league where there's a lot of parity and a lot of upsets. So there's something to be said for that. Creek ranked 8th, 1 spot ahead of Orangeburg Wilkinson. And if they win this one, they will just have Orangeburg left in the first round of the round robin, which is incredible. I mean, we've talked about how tough this region is, and they're about to be 3-0.
Yeah, if Creek can hold serve at home,
Yeah.
that will be huge for them.
Yes. And North Charleston, I think, is a little down this year. Like, I think Battery Creek's the better team in this matchup this year. So I think, Oceanside beating them was huge, and we'll see about Orangeburg. Creek suddenly looking like they might be able to make a little run in 3A. It's been Michael Williams, right, is the big scorer right now. Oh, my cat's getting in the trash like a raccoon.
You have
Let
an
me see.
issue with your board? Belts in the bank.
Did he?
Yeah, it's been awesome to see what Creek has done. But that Orangeburg Wilkinson game, that should be a fantastic matchup. Orangeburg Wilkinson, this is a team that is 10-5 overall this year, and they're going to bring a strong test to Creek in that game on January the 30th. That is one to get to if you're around that area. That is a game to come out and see, because it could go a long way to determining the region championship, but it could be a big statement game as well for the Dolphins at home. I mean, that's a big time opportunity for them if they're able to pull off that win. So, mark your calendar. Friday, January 30th. Head to Creek, and that's the game. That might be the game to be at next Friday.
Perhaps. It's going to be a big showdown over there in 3A.
Yep.
I don't know. That's far out. But they're in command here. Looks like they're going to get it done. I know Michael Williams has been really good for them. And, they're still young, too. They only have a couple of seniors, 3 seniors on 4 seniors, sorry. But they still got a bunch of young talent. A lot of those guys are juniors. Michael Williams, Tywan Simmons, Mark Kirkland, Tyree Smith, Ethan Fox. Ethan Cox is a senior, so that'll be a big loss when he graduates. But they've still got quite a bit coming back next year. So terrific job by Coach CJ of building it up over there over the last few years, and just kept chipping away.
Yeah, that'll be great if they're able to continue this run and have such a good season, and then drop down to 2A. That will be a really good spot for them.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, that will be 2A next year.
I love to see when coaches build it up from the ground up and achieve what we're seeing now over at Creek. That's what impresses me the most, to see that coach stick through a long period of time and find a way to get that program to where it is now. That reveals a lot to me in a coach and that dedication. So props to CJ Brown, and would love to see this Dolphins team make a deep run in 3A. That would be something special.
May River boys got back on track. They beat Colleton County 57-25.
Good track team there.
57. I'll update that on our ticker, and we'll shout out our presenting sponsors, our all-star sponsors, Mickelson Law Firm and WHHI TV. Mickelson Law Firm been with us since the beginning, our official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of the Loco Sports Lowdown, and our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. And they can help you with all your legal needs in downtown Bluffton at Mickelson Law Firm. And then we got WHHI TV, our guy Marcus, always over here repping WHHI on the Loco Media Network. And you can catch tonight's Beaufort and Bluffton games on WHHI TV all week long. And you can always
starting
with
our weekend premiere of the weekend sports block, 4 to 7, Saturday and Sunday on WHHI.
All right.
And every night after midnight, or every night at midnight after that.
All right. There you go. Late night viewing on WHHI TV, our all-star sponsor. But looking at some other scores here, we got on the girls' side, we mentioned Beaufort routing Bluffton 76-51. May River beat Colleton County 38-31. That girls region is a toss-up after Beaufort. Battery Creek 50-40 over North Charleston. Creek girls got a region win. Don't have a score on Bridges and Hampton, but I guess that one went to the Canes. Whale Branch 39-27 over Barnwell. Bamberg beat Ridgeland. I don't know the score on that one. And then on the boys' side, Bluffton with the 64-46 win over Beaufort. May River 57-25 over Colleton. You see the North Charleston and Battery Creek game there coming down to the wire, 76-61 Dolphins late. Don't have a Bridges Hampton score yet. Whale Branch 55, Barnwell 47. And JP2 was at Camden Military, and I might have a score from that. Nope, not yet. So there you go, boys. What do you think of it?
That was like your Ron Burgundy moment right there. I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, busy night over there at especially in that region. But I mean, May River got nice bounce back for the Sharks. I was worried, just how will they be able to respond, and good to see them back in the win column against the Colleton County team. I always it's attractive. It always can feel like that when you go over there to Colleton. I mean, that's always a tough place to play. So good on May River for bouncing back there. And the man, if Battery Creek holds on, I mean, we've said it before, but this team is really showing a lot here in 2026 under CJ Brown. Good for Whale Branch. That's a solid win over Barnwell. Those 1A wins or 2A wins never easy to come by. So I'm excited to see how Whale Branch can keep this going as we move on. Thanks to Zaire Kenny for some reporting over there fall season long so far from Whale Branch, and still looking for maybe a couple more scores.
I'm told that Prep boys had a convincing win over Cross tonight, but I don't see. They played a close game before, I think.
I have a question, and I'm thinking I know the answer, but I'm not 100% sure. And his name is escaping me at the moment. The kid, Trip, I think his name is the kid that was talking about USCB.
Yeah.
Does he go to school outside of this area?
No, he goes to USCB.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I guess my question was how closely he follows high school, or if he's just focusing on USCB.
Yeah, he doesn't get out to many high school games, not yet.
I got you.
When you're a student, I guess it's busy.
Very true.
Responsibilities when you're a full-time college student.
Yeah, but that's true. While we got you here, Nate, tell us more about. I know you're out in a gym just about every night, but tell us more about what you're seeing around the area. You checking out some girls' games, or are you mostly seeing guys?
I'm mostly seeing guys. I see a few minutes of the game.
Yeah, it's hard to get to a girls' game. They start so early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the Beaufort Bluffton game was. I think it was only a 10-point game when I got there, and then Beaufort went on like a 20-2 run to close the game.
Beaufort girls team can score.
Sure can.
It was fast and furious there at the end. I was talking to Coach Jones after the game, and he said he made a couple of changes, and then it just they were the right ones, because then they kept scoring, and Bluffton couldn't get it across half court. It really. It's been difficult. I've seen a few local games. I've tried to get to see as many as I can, but it's been difficult to find competitive games. Games that are going to be like actual entertaining games. Back and forth, because the schedules have been pretty soft. Some people have had really soft schedules, and some people have had far too difficult schedules. For the teams they have, I really think just from a coach's perspective, I know coaches don't always get to make their schedules. You have to work with the girls and boys coach have to work together, and the athletic director inserts themselves sometimes. But scheduling is really such an important part of running a program. You have to play the right schedule for the team you have that year. You play too hard a schedule, you get your brains beat in, and your team has no confidence. You play too soft a schedule, and you get to January, and you run into teams that are in your division, and you start dropping games that you haven't dropped before. So, that's really an underrated part of coaching, is setting your schedule up to give that year's team the best chance to be successful.
And it's a lot of work too, making that schedule. Let me tell you, it's a hassle.
It is, and it's a fight, because you have to think, ahead of time. You have to figure out, where do you want to put games, particularly if it's 3-game weeks and the non-region games, and if you're going to play back to back, which order do you want to play them in, and where do you want to play them? So it's you have to put a lot of time and effort into your plan, and then you have to find teams that fit what you need, that are willing to do that. So it's not easy, and like I said, particularly if you don't have the freedom to play who you want when you want,
right?
Because other people are inserting their ideas into your schedule as well. So
yep.
I mean, but that's what I've seen. I mean, and you guys have probably seen more local games than I have, but I would say across the state, there is a big drop off from the top teams to the next 10. Like, I'd say top 5 teams as opposed to 6 through 10 is one of the biggest gaps I've seen in years. And just generally, teams are down this year.
Yes, I completely agree.
I've heard somebody say basketball's down this year in South Carolina, and that sounds like what you're saying as well, which is very interesting. But also, I wonder if there's like a power consolidation because of the looser transfer rules. Are we seeing more?
That's some of it. But the net is
918 to
75. Whoa.
I don't know what that was, but that
Good
seems like
grief.
a lopsided score.
Yeah.
There are so many guys leaving South Carolina. Like there's so many kids who are going other places to play. Like Ridgeview in Columbia is one of the best teams in the state. They lost 2 Division I players, off of, perennial state championship team. Gray lost players. Keenan loses players. Like even the best of the best are losing guys. So that's just kind of the environment that it is right now.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Absolutely.
So, but I'll tell you, in that Region 8, Region 6 4A, that's pretty. They're usually competitive games in that region. At least there's a lot of parity there. We've already seen Hilton Head and Beaufort beat May River, which started 17-0, which is just wild. Now that was a little bit of a fool's gold situation, I think, and we all knew that was their schedule.
That was one of those. I was planning to go to the Bluffton May River game, and I was really thinking that there was a chance May River was going to be 21-0 going into that game.
I mean, it looked like it, and then they let a couple slide. But they definitely got back on the horse tonight. I'm sure
that's a huge game for them on Friday.
I'm sure Bennett was feeling a certain type of way after they got down 21 at half, and then they almost came back and won that, right? So I think they're going to be okay. They're back to being.
Did you say, Marcus, were you at that game?
Yeah, Marcus, you were at that game.
Say that again.
Friday night in Beaufort.
May River at Beaufort. I was scouting.
Yeah,
because I hadn't seen. I saw 1/4 or 3/4 of the guys of May River. That was it, and I hadn't seen Beaufort at all, so I had to go see them.
So tell us what happened.
How'd Beaufort blitz them?
It was we talked about it on Saturday. Kevin and Wes and I. It was just insane to see the guys just get after it. And I mentioned like the wrestling kind of mode of it.
I know he had 20.
He was Lehman was outstanding. He was outstanding today too. We were thinking if Beaufort was able to come back we were thinking about talking to Kwalik Isnar, who is just, I forgot, certainly talking about what he does on the football field. I forgot how good of a basketball player he is. We were thinking about talking to him, but the last couple of games, Lehman has been outstanding for sure. And so, yeah, it was just that aggressive, really up tempo, fast paced play. And when you miss a shot, you go after it. You make something happen, and that's a lot of what I see. What I see out of this Bluffton team, Beaufort team, out of a lot of these teams, and I saw it again. So it was really something to see. And in talking to Reggie Jones on the girls' side, they won by 30, and he was on them really, really aggressively too, because they were playing sloppily and they won by 30. And I think he got a little bit more out of them certainly tonight. It was just something to behold, and I'm looking forward to seeing both those teams.
He's
for
going to
sure.
have to stay on them because they're not going to be challenged the rest of the way. They're going to just cakewalk through the rest of the region. So they're going to be able to go through the motions, and he has to prevent them from doing that and keep them, firing on all cylinders, as Max would say, because they got a shot to make a real run in the playoffs. I mean, because they'll get one of the top 3 seeds. Their RPI is not that strong, so they'll probably be the 3, but nonetheless, that keeps you out of trouble for a couple of rounds. So they got a chance to make a real, because Nia's the real deal. And then Delia Laborde is really nice.
Yeah,
and
she had a great game too.
They just have an army of role players around those girls, so they're going to be solid. But well, Coach Livesey, we'll let you get going. But what are you looking forward to the rest of the way? Any bold predictions or anything?
No predictions. Like I said, I'm going to go see that Bluffton May River game on Friday. That if Bluffton wins that game, that'll put them, far and away in the driver's seat. And May River needs to win that game to have a shot at a home game. So that'll be a tremendous game. And then that might be the last local game I make it to. After that, it looks like my schedule has got me other places after Friday.
I'll be at HHCA JP2 next Tuesday if you happen to want to stop by, Coach, if you've got some time.
Do you have a game on Friday, Marcus, or are you off?
We're doing Tuesdays.
Okay.
If I go anywhere Friday to scout, I've said this, a bunch, but I really want Jeff to meet Javon and Jeff Riley. And there might be a chance that Javon is doing the Beaufort at Hilton Head game on games on Friday. I mean, he's scheduled to, but whether he does or not, stay tuned. If that's where he's at and he's calling those games, I intend to get a meeting between Javon and Jeff going, because I think Jeff could really help him out. But that's the only game that I would even go to. If I don't go to that game, I'll be here.
All right.
I'm planning on going live on the show.
Let me let Coach Livesey get out of here and get on with his life, and then we'll continue yapping. But Coach, appreciate you, man, and be safe out there and stay warm. It sounds like we got some freezing rain and ice coming this way.
Weather.
Yeah, should be a cold one. Thanks for having me on. Anytime you want to talk hoops, I'm available.
Yes, sir. Be well.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Nate Livesey,
good man. I tell you what, I haven't seen that guy in ages. Great to get to talk to him for a few minutes.
All over the place, usually in gyms, but occasionally in the Hardyville Quick Trip. We've bumped into each other there 2 or 3 times because I frequent the place. Not as much this semester. I haven't been able to slip away for my Quick Trip fix. That's what I'm missing in my life. I need to get back to Quick Trip, but no, I
can't hear JJ.
Loves basketball. You can't hear me? Wes, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Yeah. I don't know why you can't hear me. He hears me. But sounds like a personal problem. But no, shout out to some of our sponsors. Hudson's Seafood House on the Docks, presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. We'll have a new episode for you coming Thursday this week.
Yep.
7 o'clock Thursday for Under the Bus, presented by Hudson's Seafood House on the Docks. A great place for cocktails, seafood sunsets and cocktails on Skull Creek on Hilton Head Island. Marcus having some technical troubles over there. Also got a shout out Twinge and Twombly, our personal injury friends, attorneys over in Beaufort. They're going to help you with your personal injury case. They've got a rare name, but they provide remarkable service at Twinge and Twombly personal injury attorneys. And also the
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I can't hear JJ.
Turn up the volume.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, but I'm reading ads. Also, our old friend Coach Barron from Hilton Head Prep is now he's hung up his whistle. He's focused on a new kind of screens at HHI Windows and Doors. He wants to help you improve your view of the Low Country. We also got Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not, and Reverence Wrestling Club, our official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. And we had a new episode for you on Sunday night. Myself and George Dixon, joined by a few of our local wrestling coaches to talk about everything going on the Lowco wrestling scene. And we got state tournaments this weekend with a bunch of middle school and JV wrestlers qualifying. Don't know if you guys talked about those the other night, but I'll go ahead and run through those. The people who will be wrestling this weekend. Girls, middle school girls will also be wrestling at the state tournament. I don't have the list of girls that are wrestling yet because it wasn't a qualifier situation, but we'll definitely keep you abreast of anybody who places. But JV state qualifiers, May River at 6, Nate Fulton at 215, Miles DeGraff and Reed at 106, Cooper Stanak at 113, Spencer McCallum at 113, Noah Eady at 215, and Miller McGee at 150. Bluffton had 2 with Chris Lavea at 120 and Carmelo Williams at 285. And Hilton had 2 with Giovanni Contreras at 190 and Colby Anthony at 120. Colby got revenge on my son, Truman, in the blood round after we got Colby last week in the championship in the finals. He got us this time, and he gets to go to state. Tough kid, tough match, and congrats to him. Middle school state qualifiers, Bridges Prep, Camden Russell at 108 and Nico Mercado at 102. Hilton Head's Chris Fontana at 88 and Jackson Ryan at 96. JP2's Nick Kessinger at 114. Hardyville's Estevan Cortez at 135. McCracken's Trent Lazar at 120. Robert Small's Nick Lands at 145. And River Ridge's Mateo Rueda at 126 and AJ Dyer at 80 pounds. So shout out to all those guys and gals who are going to be wrestling. And Marcus has rejoined us. You hear me now?
Sorry about that. I do, loud and clear. I don't know what the heck happened.
Yeah. I don't know. Technology, man. Gremlins. We just talked about gremlins.
It was like my anti-Beano Cook moment.
Well, I just did some ads and then talked wrestling while you were absent, so that you wouldn't feel like you missed out on much.
For those that don't know Beano Cook, he was a classic.
He was a classic, absolutely. But I teased it earlier. A couple of things. One, Tanaya Bowman, your Peach Belt Conference Women's Basketball Player of the Week. That's big time. Her second of the season. She averaged 24 points in 2 games this week.
And she was unbelievable in that win over North Georgia. Yeah. I mean, just everywhere she needed to be at the right moments. Beautiful scorer. Just effortless the way that she competes out there and is just incredibly quick and dynamic with her play. I mean, it was so fun to watch the developments that she has made to complete, you know, the way she plays now compared to what she was 2 years ago. She's just so much more refined player. She just has the confidence to make, and I think the most impressive thing to me, 10 for 10 from the free throw line. And a lot of those iced the game.
Wow.
I mean, she went to the line like 3 times late in that game. She made every single
6
shot
in a row down the stretch.
Yep, that is unbelievable stuff. But
clutch.
and then within the defense, you talk about some of the plays that she makes. Like instead of the 4 to step, easy looks on offense. I mean, just what a tremendous player in so many different facets and ways for this team. And we're not even halfway. We're right at the halfway mark of the season. She's already won 2 Player of the Week awards. That is incredible.
Yeah.
Just to think what she has done. But don't forget about Janiyah Hayward. She hit the go-ahead shots, and that's the North Georgia game, 3-point range. So those two. I mean, if you only can pick one, but I kind of think you can't say Janiyah without Janiyah because they kind of work in tandem with each other.
Yeah, no, you're right. They definitely do, and they're both terrific players and have really developed. And you have to give Sharon Versup a ton of credit for the vision with some of these kids.
Long-term vision.
Developing, yeah, exactly, and developing their game over 2, mostly rough seasons, the first 2 seasons, but seeing what was on the horizon. They're a half game out of first, and
incredible.
it's been
the
tremendous.
Guys are too, right?
Yeah. And I mean, what a trajectory for this program. 3 years in, we're talking about, contending for Peach Belt Conference titles year in and year out. It's been unreal. And Coach Fudala on the One Loco Hoops Happy Hour, he said he did not make any qualms about it. He says USCB has the best environment in NCAA basketball. That's what he calls the Cove.
Wow.
And he claims that at one time we led the nation in percent capacity of attendance for our arena. I guess there's a place where you can search by the percentage of capacity that your games are.
But when that building gets going, it is something special.
It's real loud. It's really fun.
Yeah, I don't think that I mentioned this to you, JJ, because I think it was Saturday that I mentioned it. I said that I had to get to the Cove at some point. Well, I looked at the schedule, and obviously with the WHHI schedule and a few other things I've going on, I know when I'm going to get to the Cove. It's going to be, I believe it's February 21st, the primetime doubleheader between USCB and Clayton State, especially with the fact that I saw Clayton State in football back in November.
That's right.
And that's going to be definitely a hype. Yeah. So I'm saving the best for last.
We might have some more after that.
And another great time to get to the Sand Sharks game would be on January 31st. Because that's when they're going to do. They'll be hosting Lander that day.
That's
the Special Olympics exhibition at halftime of both games. Always great.
The stars coming out. Jeff Riley.
Awesome.
Jeff Riley. He's going to be out there. Hopefully he'll get a bucket again this year. He definitely knocked some down in the past. So now there's never a bad night to go to the Cove.
And that's that Lander game.
It was a fun game yesterday, 114-112 against a really good Fayetteville State team. I mean, it felt like an NCAA tournament game. I mean, they were going at it. Dylan Lewis was out with the flu, which is a pretty significant, that dings Buford pretty good when he's out. He's really a glue type of player. And so they missed him, but they played quite well. Did some, they had some silly stretches and did some things, but overall played quite well. And there was a dude from Orangeburg Wilkinson that balled out for Fayetteville State. But they had a bunch of guys from New York. They were a fun squad. They put on a dunking display in the pregame. I was enjoying it. But Sand Sharks are cooking. And then the other note that I wanted to
before we move on, big rivalry Saturday, USCB USDA, and I'm looking forward to. I think the women have a great chance of picking up a victory there. But that guys game rematch of last year's Peach Belt Championship.
That's right.
Yeah, it's going to be something.
Yep. And the women won at Aiken to start the conference season. The guys lost by 1. So guys looking for a little revenge and the women looking for the sweep. yeah, we're getting into it, and and we're in it. Like
in the
both
second half of conference play.
in the mix to try to win a conference title, and both in position to host first round conference tournament games.
If not,
that would be amazing.
More than that.
Yeah, exactly. But then here's the other thing I teased earlier. Zaire Kennedy letting us in on some news that Whale Branch has begun interviews for their head football coach position, and two very familiar names interviewing today, we're told, with Dee Delaney, and former Colleton County head coach and former Whale Branch assistant Adam Kinlock. Kinlock's a name we expected to be in the mix there. I think he's a guy that they always viewed him as sort of the natural successor to Hatcher, and then the opportunity at Colleton came up, and I think the timing of him, being let go at Colleton could be sort of a blessing for everybody in a sense, because now it lines up for him to go to Whale Branch. But then you throw Dee Delaney in the mix, and that is a very interesting proposition. You're talking about a Whale Branch alum who
that would be a fun hire.
At the highest levels, All-American at the Citadel, finished up at Miami, got drafted, or went undrafted, didn't he?
Undrafted,
and he had to fight his way onto rosters, but spent some time in the NFL and now back home. That would be a very interesting hire, and I think they have a couple more coming in to interview over the next the rest of the week. So we'll have to see who else is in the mix over there. I know May River posted that they were beginning the process, that they were starting to narrow it down and do interviews as well. So we're going to have some coaching news pretty soon.
Yeah, once you get in the early depth of the spring is when you normally start to see the decisions on who's going to take over these programs. And for May River, I think it's a crucial hire that they get this one right. I mean, I will say that they've got. Summers did a great job. I think that Pineville did a great job, but this one I think is an important one because you want to find
kind of reestablish the brand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, because you're gonna have a refresh, a brand refresh.
You want to make sure this is a solid decision on who you choose to take the reins of this program. Because like the potential, the upside, if you get the right guy, I think is super high right now.
I agree.
The way this program can compete, if they get the right minds to go at it. I mean, there's talent over here. You can find it. You can recruit it.
It's moving in too, and that's also a beneficial thing. And there's the transfer portal is a thing. We got to be real about it. As long as there's capacity at these schools, there's going to be people making moves. So we'll see what happens with those coaching hires. That's all we got open in the area, right? Just those two. And Colleton, sorry.
Yeah, Colleton, obviously Colleton. Yeah.
And I know they've got to be getting close too. I need to check in with Coach Myers on where they are. If he's paying attention, he'll probably text me.
Hire for them as well. It's
super important. And I know they're incredibly impressed with the candidate pool that they drew in. At least from the jump, they were like, "Whoa." At one point, it was like 50 some applicants and 37 had head coaching experience. So, they're excited about what they're going to get over there too. And you got a football coach making the hire.
So,
I think that helps.
Definitely.
I think it helps.
That's huge.
All right, boys. What else? That's all I got for headlines. That's all we got for kind of what's going on tonight. I did find a couple more scores. Hampton girls hammered Bridges 71-12. And Hampton boys hammered Bridges 67-32. So let me see here. If you want to talk about region standings, we can talk about that for a second. Thank you. So Region 6 4A, obviously Buford girls on top, Bishop England keeping pace though, but Buford beat them handily last time. And then May River and Colleton in the middle. May River beat Colleton tonight, so that gives them a leg up. And then Hilton Head and Bluffton down at the bottom. The boys' side, Bluffton still undefeated in the region at 4-0 now, and sitting pretty. Bishop England, Hilton Head, May River, Colleton all have 2 losses. Now Colleton has 3, and Buford now has 4. So Bluffton's starting to get some distance at this point. And again, if they win that game against May River on Friday, then they'll really be in the driver's seat. But it says 66-46 on Max Preps, Marcus.
Yeah, 64.
Liars.
I should know. I was there. It's
And then Battery Creek sitting atop the standings as well, 3-0, and they got a big one with Orangeburg Wilkinson coming up. That's next Friday, right? The 30th. Yeah, home against OW. That'd be good. Hampton boys still undefeated in region. I don't see them really being challenged there. I think they're gonna be on cruise control, kind of like Beaufort girls until the playoffs. But the challenge for them will also be to stay locked in and keep getting better and sharper and not just go through the motions. All right, boys. Well, let's do our parting thoughts and call it a show. Marcus Walsh, what do you got for me?
So because we don't do sideline interviews or courtside interviews for basketball as we do for football, I have a special guest join me in the second quarter of the guys' game. And Kevin gets to, watch from, the bench or whatever, take a load off. And what's that?
He gets to go on walkabout.
There you go. He can do that too. So I had Dave Adams, as I've said before. I had Dave Adams join me last week with Hilton Head hosting Bluffton. And I was thinking on a couple of facets with this, and it worked out perfectly. Kevin reached out to me. He said, "You need to have Sharon Brown on. Have her on for the girls' game, and then find somebody else for the guys. I can sacrifice 2 quarters of these games." And I talked to Sharon, and she said, "I'm doing the book for the girls' game, but I could definitely join you for the guys." So she joined me for the second quarter of the guys' game.
Did you get a word in?
I literally told her, I said, if I find out that Kevin Libby has to miss a game because he's sick or whatnot, I may just call you to fill in for him. She is phenomenal. And of course, I have known this because I've been living in South Carolina, the Low Country area specifically, since May of 2012. And I think I've known Sharon since probably 2017-ish. That's when I started with BCYP. So I've known her for about a decade at least. And she is the personification of what is great about our Low Country home. She is such a vibe, and she is all for everybody, all for one for all. We talked about, obviously, Amira. Congratulations to her. There was a great celebration of her scoring 1,000 points in her career that we aired during halftime after Kevin's thoughts and my thoughts of the first half of the girls' game. So that'll air as well. We talked about Amira, of course. We talked about everything Beaufort, everything Bluffton. She's very heavily involved in both. Yep. She's an LSU fan and a South Carolina fan, which I found pretty interesting. She loves the ladies playing sports, does a bunch of stuff with, obviously, the Boys and Girls Club. We talked about Tony Red Bruin because she's worked with him for a bunch of time. And obviously the chamber and everything that she's done for both Beaufort High School and Bluffton High School. And she is just absolutely amazing. If you ever have a chance to talk to Sharon Brown, I suggest that you do so. Go up, shake her hand, introduce yourself. She is phenomenal. And oh, by the way, I even asked her on the air. I said, "Is this the first time that you've been interviewed on WHHI TV?" She said, "It is." I said, "It
Really?
is my honor
How is that
that
possible?
I'm the one doing it, but how can this be?"
How is that
Because I could have swore that Kevin or somebody from the news or Talk of the Town interviewed her. I'm very blessed and honored to say that I was the first person to do it on
How
our
about
fine television
It's-
station.
about
Oh,
that?
She is phenomenal. Shout
Yes.
out to Sharon Brown.
All right,
Absolutely.
community sister.
Yes.
Wes Kerr, what you got, buddy?
Yeah. First off, Justin, we definitely missed you Saturday at the Cove, but man, what a great pleasure it was to be on the call for two phenomenal games. The men and the women, uh, just really cool. I mean, doing play-by-play for the first time in terms of college basketball. That was the only second time I've done play-by-play for basketball as a whole. The first time was actually my first ever work with Max Araj when we called the
Yeah.
JP2 Hilton Head Christian Academy state championship game a few years ago. But man, when you watch a lot of games growing up, you kind of understand what to do, and
You know what it looks like and
yeah,
sounds.
yeah. But
Yep.
it was a ton of fun, and
What you see?
yeah. But yeah, Kevin
And
was
you
great.
got to work with Kevin. And I
Yep.
bet that was a blast. I know
Oh, yeah.
firsthand. Having him as your color guy, man,
Yep.
nothing like it.
Yeah.
You
And
never
then,
know. You never know where he's gonna take you. He'll take
Red
you
was
on.
great too. Red was great too. He very knowledgeable. Had some good points, emphasis throughout that game, and just great guy. Great guy. Really enjoyed. We had a little bit of mic problems early, so once everything was squared away, great call by Red. So
Yeah.
really.
Yeah,
that's
he's
really
a
cool.
soft-spoken guy.
Really
Yeah,
cool
we
to
all
have so many different partners with you, JJ. You get Rich, you get Red Bruin, others as well have joined you.
Rob
Max,
Benson joined me. Jeremy Orr.
Jeff Riley.
Yeah. Jeff Riley has
Jeff
made
Riley
me
a bunch.
from time to
Yep.
time.
So,
But
yeah,
yeah,
it's
you know,
a
he's
vibe
busy
there.
mopping that floor.
Yeah, it's great. And then, going back to the point at the start of the show, I mean, one of the greatest college football stories I have seen in terms of the
Oh my gosh.
improbability of Indiana winning it all. And I mean, what Kurt Signetti was able to do this year, I don't remember seeing, just the way that he was able to build that program to where it ended up in such a short time. Just
Unbelievable.
special stuff, and especially in the era of college football, where it's different era now with NIL and everything associated with that. But you mean still, it was this sport was dominated by a couple of teams, and to see a team like this kind of come out of not nowhere because they were in the playoff a year ago, but you just look at a couple
Yeah,
years
but it
down
was
the road,
100 years of
Different
losing
level.
before that.
100 years of heartbreak and just poor results, and then now it's a whole completely different narrative, and just really cool to see for a program where it was a basketball school through and through for decades, and now it's a football school all of a sudden, and it's pretty cool. And
Well, when was their last basketball title? Was that 87?
for my lifetime,
I think 86 or 87, yeah.
that's crazy. I mean,
I think they were in the title in 2002, I believe, against Maryland.
I just
And
remember
Gary
hearing
Williams
stories
got 'em.
about
Yeah,
how good that Indiana
it
team
was
was in
87.
1987, their last
Okay.
national.
Keith Smart, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was Keith
87.
Smart. Yeah, Denny Crum versus Bobby Knight.
Yeah,
That one. I remember that one. I remember watching that one
I don't.
actually as a
Yeah.
child. A
Um,
9-year-old kid.
I
But
feel for Carson Beck though, because
Oh, yeah.
it was tough to see the way it
Or
ended.
8-year senior.
Look, no, but
How
hey,
many years has he played? 6?
give him credit for what he did this year. But yes, I do agree that he is, he is a super senior in every sense of the word. But just props to him for getting another opportunity at a spot. He had some adversity throughout his career, but good
Yeah,
to
he
see
did.
him good to see him, just finish out on, certainly not the way he wanted to end in that last game, but certainly rewrote a narrative for Miami as well, and for Mario Cristobal, what that team was able to do.
Yep.
Because this Miami team seemed like they were underachieving year after year after year, and it felt like the ACC was going to go nowhere. And that's just good for the conference as a whole to have a team go deep as far as they did to the championship in the ACC. The Big Ten has won a national championship 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. Michigan, Ohio State, and now Indiana. How about that?
Crazy. I don't think either one of these teams is going anywhere either. I mean, I think Indiana is just going to get better. Like they didn't even have the big 5-star recruits and stuff. He brought his guys from JMU. So imagine what they could become. And then Miami, obviously, they have a huge endowment and NIL fund, and they're going to continue to be very competitive as well. And the Tony kid is, God, he's electric.
He's insane.
He's fun to watch. But no, it was a great college football season. It was the best. I mean, I think it arguably is the best college football season of all time by Indiana. Like to go 16 months, and to beat the caliber of teams that they beat and beat them the way they did. I mean, their point differential was off the charts. It was crazy, like plus 370 or something crazy like that, 350.
Right.
They have to be in the conversation. I mean, honestly, they're the first 16 team since the 1800s. So,
yeah, exactly. And Signetti, I've gone full circle on that guy. I thought he was kind of a douche at first. I'm going to be honest. But now I think he's just. I mean,
he beats to his own drum
for football, man. He's
the results.
Football.
Yeah.
And he sees things that others don't, and he is able to instill it in others. And he's a phenomenal coach. He's Nick Saban. He's the new Nick Saban. He's the same. He's the same dude. He learned under him, and he's that same guy. And he's going to win a bunch more.
And how about the fact that when you look at the Final Four that we had, all of them were Nick Saban proteges.
Really?
All of them coached under Nick.
Interesting.
Wow.
Mario Cristobal, Kurt Signetti, and then you had Ole Miss, who had their coach, and let's see, Ole Miss took on Miami, and Indiana took on Oregon. and you had Oregon with that too.
Yep.
So like him, love him, like him, think he's okay or can't stand him. Nick Saban has made his mark for sure on college football. I've said it so much, and it still gets bandied about. It would not shock me in who knows how long exactly, but it wouldn't shock me at all if they created a spot for a college football commissioner and a college basketball commissioner. And I know the guys that should fill those roles easily: Nick Saban and Mike Krzyzewski.
Yeah, because they both know all the loopholes to be able.
Yes.
Without getting
they do, but they were at it at an excelling level, for as long as they were, and I can definitely see that. Maybe I don't know. Do we think it'll happen in 3 to 5 years?
It's a possibility.
Yeah, I think they're
it's
going
a possibility.
Nick Pringle sighting on ESPN, Arkansas 19 on Vandy.
Nice.
Just saw Nick. All right. My parting thought. I just took off my bandage. Donated blood today. It was the blood drive at school. I always donate at the school blood drives. And I always donate in general because I'm O negative, the universal donor type. So they blow up my phone and make sure I come back every 8 weeks or whatever when I'm eligible. But today was a milestone day. 3 gallons donated now with one blood. I hit my 3 gallon mark. which is a remarkable amount of blood and kind of creeps me out to think about it. But I just want to say that everybody should be donating blood if you're eligible. You can save as many as 2 or 3 lives with one donation, and especially if you have that universal donor blood, that O negative.
Yep.
That can help anybody in a pinch, and there's always a critical shortage, and people die every day because they don't have blood for transfusion. So they treat you so well. They check all your vitals. It's basically like going, for a doctor checkup. Check all your vitals, your iron levels, all that stuff. They don't even have to prick your finger anymore. They just put this thing on your thumb. They take your blood pressure, all that, and then they give you all the snacks and drinks that you want. They just keep begging you to take more snacks and drinks. And then you have an excuse to be lazy for the rest of the day because you don't do anything too strenuous after that. So I just want to advocate for people to give blood. One Blood happens to be my favorite. They're Big Red Bus. I think they just have good people who treat you very well. They always have grandma's cookies. Can't go wrong with grandma's cookies. And they always have a selection of juices and sodas. So anyway, that's my PSA for the day. Donate blood. You'll feel better about it. I feel really good after I do it. And I don't even like blood. My own blood freaks me out. I don't look at it. I just look away and look at my phone while they're putting it in and everything, and I don't pay attention to it, and I just squeeze that thing, and then they take it out, and we don't think about all that. But it saves lives. So donate blood.
PSA.
All right, boys. Well, good show tonight. Fun talking with Nate Livesey. Night of basketball. We got a lot of scores reported out to you, and we will probably take tomorrow off. I got wrestling tomorrow night on the road, so we'll probably take tomorrow off. But Thursday night under the bus, and maybe we'll get back with you either on Thursday or Friday this week for another Loco Sports Lowdown. So stay tuned. And for Marcus Walsh and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. So until next time, go Loco.